let's begin today's Board of Health meeting. Today's date is Monday, January 9th.
Recording in progress.
Ooh.
It is 5:01 p.m. Chairperson LeBlanc is not present. Everyone else is present. And in keeping with an act relative to extending certain state of emergency accommodations, this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count toward quorum. The meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on ECAP. To use Zoom, you'll need to use the link on the agenda or download the Zoom application at www.zoom.us and create an account or use one of the call-in numbers listed on the agenda. You will need the webinar ID to join by phone only. While conducting meetings remotely, we will endeavor to keep meeting operations as close to our standard procedures as possible. However, use of this platform will necessitate some additional meeting protocols. Number one, while the board members or commissioners and applicants will be on video and audio, public participants will join the webinar as attendee, meaning they are muted and with no video feed from them. Number two, during the public testimony portion of the meeting, members of the public can be recognized by using the raised hand function found under the participants from Zoom, or make a request with the Q&A function. If you're joining only by phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. If an applicant wishes to display materials, please make the request of the chair and the email materials to board staff for sharing on screen. When starting testimony, please state your name and address for the record. Number three, there is a markup function in Zoom, which will allow you to call out specific areas of presentation materials. Number four, as in any public meeting, indecent behavior will not be tolerated, and anyone who abuses use of the meeting platform will be terminated from the meeting. Number five, business will be handled at the times indicated on the agenda. Business not concluded in the allotted time will be tabled to the end of the meeting to allow for timely logins and remote attendance. Number six, board members are asked to announce themselves when making a motion in seconds so that it will be clear to the audience and minute takers who made motions. All votes will be by roll call. Number seven, when all business indicated on the agenda has been completed, the members will vote to adjourn the meeting, signaling the end of the meeting and the termination of the ECAT recording. All participants will be disconnected from the webinar at that time. Okay, so the first item on our agenda is the COVID-19 update.
So COVID is still circulating. We have our numbers for testing that is being done in licensed establishments actually did start to decline through December. I'll be interested to see what the next couple of weeks hold. I think, as all of us pretty much know from personal experience, it does seem like there's quite a bit of COVID circulating around us. We have been doing our best to get test kits out there and in the hands of people. Is one of the best tools that we have. For the holidays, I had sent you an email that we actually got about 8,000 kits out into the community through the schools. We have now shifted and are getting tests out through a lot of the houses of worship. We're looking at possibly like garden club meetings and Wings of Hope meetings, other places where people might be congregating and might be open to taking a couple of test kits home with them. In December, we were also able to partner with the Lions Club and provided kits for their meeting and then a function that they had to be handed out to the public to take home. So right now, that's where we're at. We were able to do almost 100 flu doses between November and December, hoping that helps bolster people's immunity and take that out of the mix so people can more accurately figure out which of the three circulating respiratory illnesses they may or may not be suffering from. But other than that, that's about it for us. We've had very little success in recent times since November with any efforts that we've put into having booster clinics. There just doesn't seem to be the uptake.
Any questions? Next item on the agenda is the meeting format, remote, in-person, or hybrid. I mean, my weigh-in is we don't make a decision without Lynn, would be my.
Correct. Table it.
All right. Acceptance of minutes from December 12th.
Motion to accept the minutes from December 12th.
Second, all those in favor, Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
Excellent. Any other staff notes?
Yep, so I just wanted to let the board know that as we go into the next couple of months, we're going to be taking a look at some of our regulations and looking for areas where they may not be aligning with current trends or current technology, or where we're learning that there's overlap and there's really not a need for us to have our own regulation, or where there is a change kind of in how a certain area might be looked at. I would say probably the first one that we're going to try to present to you in February will be some recommendations to make some changes to our trash regulations, for lack of it's a pretty broad regulation. One of the things in there is, and again, just bringing things in line with each other. One of the suggestions I think we'll be making is that currently within our regulations that govern dumpsters, we don't charge for recycling dumpsters. We're seeing a change in the industry, and now we have people who are doing curbside collection of recycling or compostable materials. And I think it would be in line with the board's original thinking to make that permit for free, make them still have to have the permit, because we do want to know who's on the street, and state statute says they have to get a permit from us to roll across our streets, but possibly bringing, you know, that in line as far as recycling across the board, not being something that we're looking to create revenue from. Our well regulations, as you heard, somebody just withdrew, not for reasons having to do with our regulations, but we've been looking at those, and there's some cumbersomeness to it. And, tweak a little bit and get into a more user-friendly document. So we're gonna try where we'll be proposing changes. If the board is in agreement that those changes are worth further discussion, input from the community moving forward, and then scheduling a public hearing for the following month to solicit public input, promulgating new regs as we go. So as I said, February, my goal would be to present some revisions to the trash regs. If you're open to it, if you like what we're saying, then we would schedule a public hearing for March. The public would have a chance to comment, and we'd be looking for a vote to actually promulgate those regulations or make those changes. And then it goes through a whole process before it becomes part of the regulations. And if there are any regulations that you're aware of that you think we should be taking a look at or prioritizing, we'd be open to that discussion as well. That's what I have for staff.
Kristen, what percentage of the town roughly has well versus town water?
Probably be better to percentage wise, it's not much.
Okay.
It's, I mean, if I'm wrong, we're dealing with Chestnut Street.
Chestnut Street, a little bit of Mountain Road, and part of Dean Street.
I was going to say Dean Street. Yeah, they're far and few between.
Okay.
Or actually using for areas of the town where there is not the option of having town water.
Right.
As you heard earlier, we were discussing that there are irrigation wells, and currently we view those just like we do a drinking water well. So, and that's one of the things we'll be looking at. You know, on some of these, the state has done a little bit more digging or has revised what they're offering as a model regulation. Body art has come a long way, and we haven't taken a look at our body art. It's just good practice to periodically go back and look at some of these things, especially where the industry has changed. But the number that are reliant on well water, I think pretty much is those 3 streets and another maybe handful.
Okay. Thank you. right, does anyone have anything else? Any questions from the public?
Let me make sure. No hands raised, no questions asked.
All righty, then I'll make a motion to adjourn the Board of Health meeting on Monday, January 9th at 5:11 PM.
Second,
All those in favor? Zias, yes.
Mills, yes.
All right, see you guys next month.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
I know.
Thank you. Bye-bye.